Now we're going to go into part 2 of this exercise where we'll talk about the physical sky and the physical render. And so make sure that you have a render of this scene now first, okay, because we're going to delete some stuff. So look in the previous video, make sure that you have this rendered as sunsky1.jpg. Alright, so that being said, come over to the object manager and we're going to delete the sky object and delete the sun object, and we'll get started on the second part of our exercise here. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is create a physical sky object, and it's under the light object. So hit the drop down menu under lights and hit physical sky. It's logically under the light menu because it's a light source. Let's see, what do you want to do first here? Let's just take a look at what we got here. The basics tab, you can experiment on your own time with adding rainbows, fog, etc. We will add clouds for this exercise. Another interesting part is time and location. So let's click on that tab, the time and location tab, and advance the clock to set it to 1500, which is 3 p.m. military time. And let's render that just to take a look at it. And that's what we have so far. Now let's add some clouds to our scene. So click on the basic tab, enable clouds, and let's give this a render. And as you'll see, we have this horizon line. So the physical sky, remember, is an object, so we could rotate this object to bring the horizon line down. So with a physical sky object selected, choose the rotation tool, and you can kind of sort of do this by eye. Like you can rotate around the x-axis and then rotate to the left around the z-axis to even everything up. Just let me render this real quick so you can see what we have so far. It'll be all messed up. Everything is sideways and crooked and everything else. So playing around with this, what I found is these parameters. So select physical sky, choose coordinates. H, P, and B stands for heading, pitch, and bank in Cinema 4D world. Set heading to 0. Whoop. Pitch will be -9, and then bank will be 17. And that's just from messing around with this that I found that you get a pretty decent looking sky out of this, and the shadows are still looking cool. Remember, the physical sky is a light source. So whenever you change the headings and the coordinates and all that other stuff, you're going to change the light source in your scene. So that's just something to be mindful of. Now, let's talk about physical render. If we hit the drop-down menu for render settings, you'll see that since we put in a physical sky, it'll default, the renderer will default to physical. So far in this course, if we hit the drop-down menu, we've been using the standard renderer. In this exercise, we'll use the physical renderer, and there's some other properties here. So selecting physical, there's a couple things I want you to be aware of. Sampler, it should default to adaptive, and I'll try to kind of sort of explain what these mean. If I hit the drop-down menu, there's a choice called progressive. This will make many, many, many passes on your image, and it will give you a very detailed render, although it could literally take up to 24 hours or more to render a scene. So for this course, let's just stick with adaptive. Now, sampling quality, if we hit the drop-down menu, we have low, medium, high. Of course, high is better than low, right? But what I want you to choose is automatic. Now, what automatic sampling quality does is Cinema 4D will choose like the simple surfaces, like if something that's just like one matte surface, and it'll be smart enough to not spend a lot of time rendering that. With automatic selected, like things like reflective surfaces, for example. Cinema 4D will know that those surfaces need more passes. So automatic and adaptive is the way to go. It's the most automated, best solution for an efficient render. Now the shading error threshold is a little weird. Now, like in this case, high number equals bad. Okay, so low number good, high number bad. If I were to change this to 100%, I'd be telling Cinema 4D, I don't care how pixelated or how pixelated or how bad the shadows look or whatever, just render it. So that's not good. 20% is a nice number. For something simple like this, we could set it to 10. Now, if you set it to 0, you're going to spend a whole lot of time rendering and have very, very little visible change in quality. So that's the whole trick with this stuff. To set the parameters, so you can set the parameters like so they're super duper detailed, but the render you get will be hardly any different from something with lower settings. Okay, so for this exercise, these are the settings you want here. And just for demo purposes, you don't have to do this, but I want to show you. I will render this very quickly and show you what we have so far. And that looks pretty nice. Now, what'll really help this is the enabling global illumination. So enable global illumination, and these are your parameters. Let's render it to picture viewer. Okay, I fast forwarded through the video. It took about 30 seconds to render this. So with global illumination, you get a pretty nice render here. So let's save this, and this is what you will upload to Blackboard. Save image as. You can keep all the parameters. Make sure you're uploading a JPEG, and 72 DPI is fine. And then this will be, what do I call the first? Okay, we're going to call the Sun Sky 2, and then your name. And I'm typing in front of a large microphone. That's why it takes me so long to type sometimes. So Sun Sky 2, your name, .jpeg, save it, and that is, you'll upload those two images for this exercise, and we're done.